What if I told you that talking too much about your dreams might be the very reason you never achieve them? You see, many people unknowingly sabotage their success simply by sharing their plans with the world. They announce their goals on social media, discuss their next big move with friends and family, and seek validation before they've even taken the first step. But here's the harsh truth. Talking about your ambitions doesn't bring you closer to them. In fact, it often does the opposite. Jack Ma, the visionary behind Alibaba, learned this lesson the hard way. Early in his journey, he faced doubt, skepticism, and resistance. If he had let the noise dictate his actions, Alibaba might never have existed. In today's video, we're uncovering Jack Ma's hidden rule for success, why you should never reveal your plans, and how silence can be your greatest weapon. Many people believe that talking about their dreams makes them more real. They think that by announcing their goals, they are holding themselves accountable. But in reality, sharing too much can be one of the biggest mistakes you'll ever make. Let's break down why. 1. The danger of outside opinions. The moment you share your plans, you invite a flood of opinions. Everyone suddenly has advice, whether they've achieved success or not. Friends, family, even strangers online will tell you what they think you should do. But here's the problem. Most of these people have never done what you're trying to do. Their words are based on their own fears, limitations, and experiences, not yours. It's like trying to cook a gourmet dish while 100 different chefs shout conflicting instructions at you. Too many voices create confusion, self-doubt, and hesitation. Instead of focusing on execution, you get stuck in analysis paralysis, overthinking every decision because of the noise around you. 2. The illusion of premature accomplishment. Psychologists have found that when you talk about a goal, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that gives you a sense of achievement when you actually accomplish something. This is dangerous. It tricks your mind into believing that you've already made progress, reducing your motivation to take real action. Think about it. How many people proudly announce they're starting a business, a fitness journey, or a big project, only to lose momentum and quit shortly after? That's because they felt rewarded just by talking about it. The energy that should have gone into execution was wasted in conversation. 3. The risk of envy and sabotage. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. Some people, even those closest to you, may feel threatened by your ambition. Without realizing it, they project their fears onto you, saying things like, "Are you sure? That sounds risky. Do you think you're really capable of this? What if it doesn't work out?" Jack Ma faced this exact situation. When he first shared his vision for an e-commerce platform in China, people laughed at him. They told him it was impossible, that China wasn't ready for the internet. If he had let their doubts get to him, Alibaba wouldn't exist today. This is why the less you share, the stronger you become. Because when you stop seeking approval, you start focusing on what truly matters, getting things done. If sharing your plans exposes you to unnecessary doubts, distractions, and even sabotage, then what's the alternative? Silence. Not just any silence, but strategic silence. The kind that protects your vision, sharpens your focus, and allows you to execute without interference. History has shown that some of the most successful people in the world didn't announce their plans before taking action. Instead, they worked quietly, avoiding unnecessary attention until they had something real to show. Think about an athlete training for a big event. They don't waste energy telling everyone about their workout routine. They wake up early, push themselves harder than anyone else, and let their performance speak for itself on game day. Jack Ma understood this principle early on. While others were busy seeking approval or defending their ideas, he was building Alibaba from the ground up. He wasn't the loudest voice in the room, but he was always thinking, strategizing, and executing. His silence wasn't hesitation, it was focus. And by the time Alibaba became a billion-dollar empire, it was too late for his critics to stop him. That's the power of keeping your plans to yourself. But does this mean you should walk your path alone? Not exactly. While it's important to guard your vision, it's just as crucial to surround yourself with the right people. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Some are simply spectators, offering opinions with no real experience. Others, however, are builders, the kind of people who challenge you in the right way, push you to refine your vision, and genuinely want to see you win. The mistake most people make is seeking validation from the wrong crowd. They share their plans with friends, family, or even strangers online, expecting encouragement, but instead, they get hesitation, skepticism, or even subtle discouragement. That's why Jack Ma didn't listen to the noise. He carefully chose who he allowed into his inner circle: trusted advisors, business partners, and mentors who didn't just give opinions, but offered real, experience-based wisdom. So, how do you decide who to share your plans with? The answer lies in the 3 levels of sharing. First, there's the silent work phase. This is where you keep your goals completely to yourself, allowing your vision to take root without external pressure. You focus on building the foundation, making progress quietly without distractions. Next, there's the selective sharing phase. Here, you begin to involve a small, carefully chosen group of individuals, mentors, strategic partners, or experienced advisors, people who genuinely add value to your journey. Their insights can help you refine your execution without exposing you to unnecessary doubts. And finally, there's the results-driven phase. At this stage, you no longer need to talk about your plans because your results do the talking for you. People will see what you've built, and by then, it's too late for doubts, sabotage, or envy to derail your progress. This method isn't just about secrecy, it's about protecting your momentum. The more you talk, the more energy you give away. The more you seek validation, the more control you hand over to others. But when you operate in silence, you reclaim your power. You move with intention. You execute without interference. And when you finally succeed, the world won't need an explanation. They'll see it for themselves. Jack Ma's journey is proof that strategic silence is often the key to success. In the early days of Alibaba, he faced overwhelming skepticism. The idea of e-commerce in China seemed absurd to many. The internet was still a new concept in the country, and most people believed that online shopping would never work. Traditional businesses dominated, and the cultural mindset was resistant to change. Even his closest friends and advisors told him he was wasting his time. But Jack didn't waste energy trying to convince them. He understood that arguing with skeptics wouldn't move his vision forward. Instead, he focused on execution. While others doubted, he built. While critics laughed, he strategized. He kept his vision close to his heart, only sharing critical details with a small, trusted group of people who actually understood what he was trying to accomplish. He didn't need approval, he needed progress. In the late 1990s, when he tried to secure funding for Alibaba, most investors dismissed him. They saw no future in his idea. Some even told him outright that an online marketplace in China was doomed to fail. If Jack had let those voices get into his head, Alibaba would have never existed. But instead of seeking validation, he doubled down on his belief. He and his small team worked relentlessly, often sleeping in the office and eating instant noodles just to survive. They didn't waste time defending their idea to outsiders. They let the results speak for themselves. As Alibaba started gaining traction, something interesting happened. Those same investors who had once rejected him suddenly wanted in. The critics who had laughed at his vision were now scrambling to be part of it. By then, it was too late for them to stop his success. He had already built something too powerful to ignore. The lesson here is clear. If Jack Ma had spent his time explaining, justifying, or seeking approval, Alibaba would have never taken off. Instead, he chose silence. He chose to work while others doubted. He chose execution over validation. This is the exact principle that separates successful people from the rest. The world is full of dreamers who talk, but few who act. Jack Ma knew that the more he spoke about his vision, the more resistance he would face. So he kept moving forward, quietly, persistently, and with unshakable focus. And when Alibaba became a global giant, the doubters were left with only one option: to watch it on. This is why you must protect your vision. Work in silence. Let success be your loudest statement. The truth is, nobody cares about what you're going to do. They only care about what you've actually done. Talking about your dreams might feel good in the moment, but words alone don't build success. Actions do. Too many people waste time seeking validation, explaining their ambitions, and defending their plans. They want to be understood, to be encouraged, to be supported. But here's the harsh reality: most people won't believe in your vision until they see it working. And by then, you won't need their validation. Jack Ma's story teaches us a simple but powerful lesson: protect your goals, focus on execution, and let the results do the talking. The more you speak, the more energy you give away. The more you seek approval, the more control you hand over to others. But when you move in silence, you reclaim your power. Think of success like a seed. You don't plant it and then dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You nurture it in silence. You water it, protect it, and give it time to develop strong roots. Then, one day, without warning, it breaks through the soil. And by the time people notice it, it's already too strong to be stopped. Now, ask yourself, are you spending more time talking about your dreams than actually working on them? Are you letting the opinions of others dictate what you can and can't do? Are you giving people a chance to doubt you before you even begin? If so, then here's a challenge. For the next 30 days, keep your plans to yourself. Don't announce your goals. Don't seek validation. Don't explain what you're going to do. Just do it. Work quietly, take action, and stay focused. And when you achieve your goal, you won't need to tell anyone. They'll see it for themselves. Because at the end of the day, success doesn't need an introduction. It doesn't need permission. It doesn't need validation. It simply arrives. So, the next time you feel the urge to tell someone your next big move, remember this: silence is your superpower, execution is your weapon, and success, that's your proof. Now, go and build something great without saying a word.